Okay, was not ready for that, but happy Saturday!
So, this is the weekend that we would have been winter camping at McGregor Point Provincial Park. Wah, wah. We are in lockdown, and we put a poll out to you guys to see what kind of content you want to see while we're in lockdown. And you said you still want to see camping content. So, you know what? Screw the lockdown. We're sticking to the rules, but we're camping in the backyard.
So, we can count this as episode 2 of
Winter camping.
Winter camping progression thingy majiggy. Let's go.
All right, before we go outside, we gotta put snow pants and winter gear on, so. Can't forget the mittens.
All right, I think we're ready to go. Let's go. All right, we're in our backyard, and we've already chosen the spot, but we're gonna camp over there.
Why?
The reason being is that we know that over here is very steep and hilly. So we're gonna go over there, kind of sort of near the shed, and put our tent there, which is the flattest spot.
So you know where we're going, Andy?
Yeah, sort of. Kind of this way. So, there is a little bit of a difference. Now we're gonna have to flatten it out. So, Katia, come on, I need your help.
All right, we flattened out our area, and as you can probably see, it's on an angle. So, what does that mean, Andy?
It means that we were not thinking. So we're gonna go over there now, where it's flatter, and repeat the process. We want it flat so that when we are sleeping out here in the night, we don't roll onto one side of the tent. It's just more comfortable being on flat ground, really.
You also want to make sure that if the temperature changes or it starts raining.
Oh yeah, there's also that. Good call. Totally forgot about that. Water does run downhill, duh. So you want to make sure that you're not in the way of drainage. So being on flat ground is pretty important. So choosing your site well is important. Okay, step 1 times 2 complete. Now step 2 is just the same as your normal thing, set up your tent. And then
up your tent.
There will be a step 3.
I wonder what it could be. All right, while Andy is setting up our tent, we just want to say, if you're new here, thanks for joining us. And if you like the content that we're creating and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, give us a big thumbs up on this video, and hit that bell to get notified of all of our future videos. We've got lots more outdoor adventuring, camping, travel videos coming your way, and you don't want to miss out. All right, Andy's just staking the tent down so it doesn't fly away, which brings us to step number 3 when you set up your tent in the winter. Oftentimes they'll say to put some snow around the tent, just to number 1, help it from flying away, and number 2, also help insulate it. Now it really depends on what kind of tent you're using. We personally don't have a 4-season tent, we're using a 3-season tent, so we're not really going to put too much snow around the tent, just because it doesn't work well with ours. But if you do have a winter tent, that is an option that you can do when you set your tent up. What are you doing?
Flattening out the snow under me.
All flat now?
It's actually much better than before, thank you very much. All right, we got the quintessential camping thing going on.
The saddest little fire you ever did see.
We're just trying out our fire pit for a little later tonight when we are gonna come out here, or at least I'm gonna come out here, and where we're gonna start a real fire. So that's pretty cool. We still have to make up the tent. You know, the same thing that we did last time. You can check that video out up this thing again here. I'm gonna go with here. We're gonna do pretty much the same setup, just out here now, so that will be a great test for when we do go for realsies winter camping. Okay, it's super quiet here, so we should be quiet too. It is 8 o'clock at night, and we're getting ready to camp in the backyard. First of all, start a fire. How's camping in the backyard?
It's all right.
How's camping in the backyard in like minus 10 degrees?
I mean, it's a little chilly because we have a little baby fire, but once we get the fire going, it'll be a little bit warmer. I guess we just have to be a little more mindful because our neighbors are closer to our house than when we're camping. So we're not going to keep the fire on for too long, just enough to like warm up a little bit, and then we'll probably go in the tent.
Something's happened!
No, don't say it like that.
Okay, come here. All right, what happened to you?
My butt is cold.
I think she's out for today.
No, I'm still gonna try and sleep.
Wait, so you are gonna come?
I'm gonna try and sleep, but we didn't get the campfire big enough, and we want to be careful because the neighbors. So we didn't make a big fire. I don't know, it just was cold.
I just hear excuses. We could have put more wood on the fire. We had lots of it. Whoops. The camera's outside the whole time, and you know how batteries love the cold, right? So they kind of died. All right, anyways. Tia's lower half is cold.
We're taking an indoor break. This is a good test before we go out to a provincial park, actually. Now I know I need even more layers.
Yeah, and maybe replace some thinner layers with thicker layers.
So I'm gonna go into the bedroom, into my closet, change up my layers so that I'm ready for us to actually sleep outside tonight. We're calling it quits with the fire. We already put snow on it. There's no way we can get it started again. We put a lot of snow on it to put it out.
Yeah, it was already out, and Tia's like, I'm gonna put a little bit more. I'm like,
you
no,
just have to be careful.
And then she dumps more snow on it, and then I was like, and then looking at her, and then she looked at me, and I said, did you want to put a little bit more snow? And then she went and got another bucket full of snow and dumped it on there. So it's good and proper, it's out. Oh, but okay, so the plan for sleeping tonight, We are going to run a heater for like 10 minutes without us being in it to warm everything up, okay? So a little bit of cheating there, but that's okay. We take one step at a time. And then we're gonna unplug it, but leave the thing inside. So if we both wake up and become really, really cold, we can turn it on for a bit, just to give us a little bit of like a step up.
It's definitely a lot colder tonight than when we camped on the deck. I think it's almost -10 or more.
And yes it is. And we are going to be on the ground. So that is going to be a big factor.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder why I get myself into these things. I mean, it's cold.
But it's kind of half the fun. So this is my justification for why she's dressed like this.
Like a marshmallow?
Like a marshmallow, yeah. Okay, so after all that moaning, Tia says,
it's actually pretty cozy in here.
Yes, we have tons of blankets just like before, and the snow is actually a really good insulator. We do have that heater running right now, as you may be able to hear, but we'll turn it off when we're ready to go to sleep. I can feel the breeze, so there's definitely zero chance of suffocation. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good sleep, to be honest.
Honestly, I forget who it was that told us to do this heater trick, but somebody on Instagram recommended it, and it was the greatest idea ever.
Yeah, see? Something else that we definitely will be bringing for when we go legit, winter camping.
Yes.
Lost my train of thought there.
I would only do this for front country though, like car camping, there's no way we could do this backcountry camping.
No, my personal sleeping bag is definitely not warm enough, and there's no way we can carry this many blankets. So until we want to invest like $2 grand into sleeping bags, front country camping it is for winter camping, which is still not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, now the real thing is gonna be, are we gonna last the night?
I think we'll be fine.
We'll see.
We will see. Okay, well, anyways, we're gonna chill in here for a bit and fight to get into the sleeping bag, because that's always a struggle. We'll catch you in the morning. Good night. It's 3 in the morning. It's almost 4. We've survived the night, but my pad is deflated.
Andy woke me up. He's tapping out. Just for the record.
My pad is deflated. Okie dokie, coffee time. So some learnings from sleeping outside. It was my pad deflated again. Now, not saying that there's no hole in the pad, but Tia's also deflated a little bit. So we came to the conclusion that maybe we should stop blowing up the pad with our hot breath and then taking it outside, because it's going to deflate just because the air has lost some of its heat. We posted an Instagram story or a post, and people have actually said that. So
yeah, other people said they experienced it as well, and when they stopped blowing up their pads with their mouth in the winter, it stopped deflating.
Right. Now, my question is, so how do you blow it up?
That's a good question.
So we're gonna have to figure that little conundrum out. I guess that will be the next test or the next episode of this. Ready to sleep outside again?
Sure. So in terms of actually sleeping outside, first, I know I said this in last night's video, but Andy's the one that tapped out. I did feel bad though, because his pad was like legitimately fully deflated. He was like sleeping on the ground basically, which is cold.
Right. And so that brings us to the second confirmed thing. One, the foam pads definitely helped. But 2, it is super cold if you're directly on the ground. The right side of my body, because I'm a side sleeper, was frozen. It was very cold.
In terms of being cold though, like for myself, where my mat did not fully deflate to the ground, I was really toasty. Like the layers that we had chosen for the first time we went camping and that we wore again this time really, really worked. So basically what we had was our base layer, which was merino wool. We had our fleece layer, something like this, or a fleece sweater. We got in our sleeping bags, and then we had a duvet and a blanket on top of that. And
we also have socks on and
a hat.
So the one thing that I noticed last time and this time was that my face got cold. So this time I wore an extra big hat and I pulled it all the way down. So it's like this. And that helped a lot. So if you're doing this in your backyard, that's a really great tip. Get like one of those really big beanies and just pull it all the way down.
It's also like wearing a sleeping mask, so you don't see any light.
Yeah.
So I think overall this was really successful because now we know that Andy's mat has deflated twice, and it's actually funny because both times it was around 3:30 in the morning that he woke up and he was like, no, my mat is deflated. So we know before we actually had camping at the end of February that we need to first check if his mat has a leak. I think that's the first thing we should check. And if it doesn't have a leak, then we need to explore some of these other options to stop it from deflating so much.
Yes, yeah, that is a definite showstopper in my opinion.
Overall, I would say this was a success. We know we can stay warm. We just have to sort out the sleeping pad problem, and then I think we're gonna be good to go.
Yeah, camping, here we come.